Whitney and other art museums have offered intensive teen programs for well over a decade. The teens really have incredible access to the museum and its resources. They might lead tours in the galleries, organize exhibitions, meet and work with artists. Often these are the kinds of experiences that teens aren't finding anywhere else.
For me, I needed something to get me through that period of my life, and what being in a museum every week did is it gave me something to care about, and it gave me something to look forward to every week.
I think it's very important that teens feel that they have a voice that adults listen to, because as we grow up, sometimes we may feel like no one's listening or that no one appreciates what we have to say. But at the Whitney, I shared my ideas, and some ideas were implemented and they were listened to, and I felt really empowered.
We had heard over the years from a lot of alumni that these were really positive experiences, and they would say, "That changed my life." It made us ask, what are the real impacts of this program? What happens to these young people after they leave the museum? In scanning the field, we found that little to no research exists about the long-term impacts of teen programming in art museums. We decided to create a study to try to answer some of these questions. And we figured that if we were asking these questions, that others probably were interested in the answers as well. We are now partnered with the Walker Art Center, the Contemporary Arts Museum of Houston, and the Museum of Contemporary Art Los Angeles.
We all had stories from each of our programs about the amazing things that alumni had gone on to do, but we wanted more than that. We wanted to really look at the data and see how many people is that happening to.
And we realized that the only way to do this was to track down our alumni and ask them. Sharina Anki Kroll is one of the alumni of the Whitney's Youth Insights program. Her family immigrated here from Bangladesh, so as a young person, she really struggled with trying to fit in.
Like everybody else, I was also trying to find myself, find my interests, find out what it is I wanted to do with my future. But I was also very shy. I didn't want to talk to anyone, much less talk to a large group of people. So I was a completely different person than I am today.
For this study, we used more traditional research methods, surveys, focus groups, interviews, but we also wanted to introduce newer, more creative tools.
So when the Whitney asked me to participate in the study, they asked me to create a map that shows where I was, my journey, and then where I am today. Now I'm an attorney and I work a lot with artists and the creative individuals out there. In fact, one of my niche practices is in art law, which is a direct correlation between my time at the Whitney and what I do now.
We found that whether or not the alumni go into the arts themselves as a career, they take the lessons from the program and they apply them and they find usefulness for them in any line of work that they're in today.
One of the reasons that it's important to work with youth in this capacity is that our youth audience is one of the most diverse audiences that we serve at the Walker, and creating a relationship with museum goers when they're young creates a lasting and impactful relationship with museums and cultural institutions at large.
These programs allow students the opportunities to go around the barriers and borders which separate people from these collections, these artifacts, these bodies of knowledge, really.
One of the things that's always a question in a program like this is, how can you justify marshaling so many resources for so few people? And one of the things that we've found in the study is what a profound impact the programs actually have on the participants.
I have no idea what my life would be like if I hadn't done the Walker Art Center's teen program. The reason I'm doing what I do is because of my time on the Teen Council. So it's turned me into the person I am today, and it's given me the job that I have today, and it's been part of my development as a dad and as a partner and as an artist. So I think about it almost constantly.
This study has revealed that the short-term effects of these programs have held up over time. And in fact, even as people get into their 30s and their late 30s, they're reporting that these experiences are among some of the most important and influential experiences of their lives. That's huge.
We're so excited to share the findings from this research because we understand that this is going to shape our practice as museum educators and as a field. But at the same time, we believe that this really sheds new light on the question of why museums matter and what role we can and should play in our communities.